What's up, everybody? Akash Shinty here, your favorite biotech research analyst, with a video today on patents. We'll talk about why are patents important in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, what are patents particularly, and how are they used. Awesome. With that, why are patents important? Well, patents are important for the industry because it's a way of protecting your intellectual property. In other words, it takes a really, really long time to develop a new drug. And as you develop this whole drug and you spend, and when I say really long time, we're talking at the order of 10 to 15 years. So let's say someone comes along, you come up with this new drug idea, and you're like, oh man, I'm going to use this new drug, and I'm going to treat, I don't know, HIV, for example. You go about, you develop this before you know it, and it's showing huge promises, like a curative therapy. Before you know it, someone else comes across your idea and they're like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. That's exactly what I'm going to use. So they end up using it. They end up developing the same thing. While it took you that whole 10 years to develop a drug to get to a certain point, it took them maybe 2 years because they were able to figure out what you had and then reverse engineer it or go backwards and take it apart and then figure out how to put it back together to make the same drug that you did. Now, they spent only 2 years, but you spent those whole 10 years and all of that money. Why should they reap the benefits of the research and development that you had conducted? This is where patents come into play. Patents are super important because they help protect the drug developer or the manufacturer with understanding or with keeping the upside to the risk that they took. Now, there's upside risk and downside risk during drug development. Risk is, in other words, it's another term of saying we don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. It could be that we find the cure for HIV in this particular example, or we find a failed drug and we spent lots of time, lots of money, and it just went down the drain. So with that, this is kind of at the high level why patents are important. Now, what are patents? Patents are, as we talked just about a little bit earlier, it's a form of intellectual property. So at a higher level, intellectual property includes patents, copyrights, trademarks, so on and so forth. But patents are usually, they typically last about 20 years, and they give the patent holder the rights, the uninfringed right to develop, commercialize, and sell a particular product that was made without any competition. So in other words, it's a way that the US government has, or governments all around the world have incentivized innovators to say that develop a new product and we'll give you this lifespan, this span of 20 years for you to develop it and to sell it without any competition, which is hugely powerful, particularly for the biotech industry, as we talked about. So we talked a little bit about why are patents important, what are patents themselves. Lastly, we'll talk about how are patents used, or how are they seen within the industry itself. Patents are, again, like I said, a really crucial piece to the industry. It protects any research and development that's done. So biotech pharmaceutical companies, they protect these assets. And when I say assets, the asset itself is the intellectual property with their lawyers, pretty much, with their lives. It costs so much money, not only money, but time to develop these new therapies. And so it's really important for these companies to protect whatever they have been developing. And so with this, patents are used by investors, by lawyers, by business development teams, management teams, really to understand what is the underlying asset. In other words, what is the intellectual property really covering? Within a patent itself, there's many stringent paths that pieces that are talked about. A patent may cover the composition of matter. So how is this drug? What's the process of how it's made? It could cover so composition of matter is like the actual, like the drug itself. It could cover the processes, so processes of development. So particularly more so for biologics like gene therapies, antibodies, cell therapy, so on and so forth. It's a little bit more complex to manufacture these types of things. When I say manufacture, it's like really make them. So the purpose of the patent is that it'll cover certain avenues of these things, such that that landscape is protected and it's kind of your zone to be able to operate. So this is kind of a little bit on patents. We can dig into this a bit further. I'm no expert in patents myself, but they're, like I mentioned, super, super critical for the industry itself. And that's what I got for you guys today. So with that, if you guys like this, give me a like, comment, subscribe, share it with others if you're interested. And I leave you here. Remember, guys, keep up, thrive, and stay sexy.